So, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Maz is okay here speaking. I must say, first of all, very sorry for joining late, and I had some technical glitches, or rather glitch, that made me to be late. But without wasting more time, I would want to kick off. Okay, so as usual, if you can see me, if you can give me a thumbs up, you know, we can start um, shortly. So, as I have said in the title of this video, the technical glitches, you can see normally when I do live videos, I have my title um, at the bottom here. But in this case, I do not have anything. So, I didn't want to start trying to fix it. That's the reason why I've just started. But the reason why I am making this live video is it's weekend. It is time for us to have some serious conversations, and the conversation is very simple. It is the exclusion of the Southeast. In the 22.7 billion dollars that will be borrowed by the federal government of Nigeria, and we will rather think that this is not only criminal, it also borders on why a president that had a rejection before based on non equity returns the same. I know many of you might want to disagree with me, but my problem this time around is not the Southeast senators per se. I wouldn't say globally. Obviously, I still have my issues with them, 15 in numbers. My greater issue from the information I found out with a video I'll play us is what the former Deputy Senate President, in the person of Ike Ekweremadu, what he said. He said that this loan, even without him saying it, we know that this loan came last year. And the same loan was rejected under Saraki. You see, the government somehow sold to you and I that the problem of this government and why they didn't make much progress was because of Dr. Bukola Saraki. You have seen it that the government is incompetent, that the government is not doing virtually anything. And the problem of last government, the 8th Assembly, wasn't Bukola Saraki. We have come to see it now. My issue is very simple. How come this was rejected in the 8th Assembly? Based on the reason given by the former DSP, Deputy Senate President Dr. Ike Ekweremadu. And the president returned the same bill the same loan request unamended, even when it was rejected based on uninclusiveness. My people, I think it will be fair to say that that behavior is worse than the apartheid behavior or apartheid regime of the South African of the old. Yes, I make bold to say that. There is no other way I can explain that. How can a man bring in a bill, originally $27 billion, and people say, no, 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 we'll review this thing, some part of Nigeria that will be the bulk of the people to pay this loan are not part of this loan, and you never consider that as a wise thing to do, to review it. Rather, what you did was to bring it back. Let me play this video for us before we continue. But before I do that, as our ritual, today we might be lucky. Today we might be lucky actually to have telephone number that we can call in. I want us to air our views, but that call is only on WhatsApp. So if you get the telephone number, you would put the telephone number on your phone in order to get the WhatsApp, and we can only, or rather, I can only take WhatsApp calls. Okay. Now, before I continue, let me do my usual thing. Everyone who has been here, oh, we have so many people here, but how many people do we have watching live? And how many of you have given me a like? How many of you have liked the video? I have here people watching from South Africa. That is Michael. Michael is watching from South Africa. Michael, you are welcome. Then we have Larry Anyam watching from London. And we have Henry Ekobase. I greet you. I hope it's not late. No, you are not late because the broadcast was delayed. Imanko. Okay, Imanko, I think you are basically being a very good fan. Yeah, thank you. Someone just liked the video. That's the only thing I request of you to do. Can you please like the video before we continue? I want, I want to just give the shout out in order to allow many of us to come, because what we are going to discuss is very important. Very, very important. Watching from Amsterdam, Chukwuemeka Ndibe. Astebrift. Eze Kevin, watching from Malta. I know you. I hope you're not too close to Obasanjo's house in Malta. Watching from Ezobi, Henry, from Switzerland. Guten Abend. Maduike, Michael Maduike, watching from London. Okay, that's good. It's good to know that, I do not only speak to fellow Nigerians at home. It's good to know that I also speak to the diaspora community, the backbone of the upcoming Igbo nation, the diaspora community. Okay, so Obachi Nwachukwu is watching from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Please, everybody, be careful of the coronavirus. The coronavirus is getting serious. And I must commend one of you, let me find his name, who actually came to, he gladdened my heart, and I said to myself, I will give him a shout out, who came to my Twitter handle and asked after me. He said, Mazi, I haven't seen your live video in almost 1 week now. Are you okay? So that was very interesting, and that was very good to know that actually people care about what is happening and about Mazi Ezoke. It gladdens my heart. And my brother, you know who you are. Thank you very much. It gladdened my heart that you asked after me. And thank you. John Okoye from Las Vegas. Oh, the city of casino. Thank you very much. And we have Chuma from Lagos. And Chibuike Eze from Hamburg. Okay, Eze from Hamburg. I hope that is not Eze Motors from... Okay, no, Eze Motors is not in Hamburg. But anyway, schönen guten Abend. Ich hoffe, euch geht's gut in der BRD. So, people, what we are to discuss this evening is my impression that what is happening now with the $22.7 billion loan is nothing, and the way the Southeast is being excluded is nothing but an apartheid regime. That is the feeling I have, because there is no other way to put it. See, the issue I have is I do not know how to sugarcoat words. At least I'm not insulting people, but I say it the way it is, in whatever, however I think and I consider being civil. That is where I feel that a government that I think it is, you know, the level of exclusion is criminal, very criminal. The level of exclusion is criminal. In the projects to be executed from the 22.7 billion naira loan, billion dollar loan, the scale and the scope of the unprecedented exclusion in a democratic administration that promised a progressive change is globally condemnable. Really, really condemnable. And that regime, without mincing words, is worse than the South African Apartheid regime. I will say that again, again, and again. It has become evidently clear that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that is the person of Muhammadu Buhari, who once, when he finished or when he won the 2015 presidential election, once referred to the people of the Southeast in percentage terms. Remember, he said they were only 5%. When asked how he would treat the Niger Delta people, the reporter was only asking about how he's going to treat the Niger Delta people. I mean, there was no connection. One, the answer was mathematically wrong because 97% plus 5% is 102%, not even 100%. So, not to talk about that, the answer is mathematically wrong, but that the mentality that when you win an election, you should be president of all. When a president wins an election, it doesn't matter if you are APC, NRC, what the freaking name does not matter. What matters is you govern the nation with equity. In serious crime, what happens is when people do not vote for you, let's take for instance, in the United Kingdom, many of you, luckily some of you are watching me from the United Kingdom. When SNP did not, or rather, when Labour Party lost some vote in Scotland, what happened? They didn't kill people. When under David Cameron, they went for a referendum, which is the Scottish National Party said the Scottish people want to have a referendum to leave the United Kingdom. The counter strategy was not like what the current government is doing or did. Remember, what was the crime of IPOB? IPOB said, we want referendum. That's what their demand is. Not everybody would agree with their demand anyway. But rather than send your soldiers that were to protect your external borders or to go combat the Boko Harams that is ravaging the nation, what you do is for you to engage politically. You, a president, ought to be a father to all. The concept would have been, okay, my children, because if you are a president, it doesn't matter the age, you are the father of the nation. You should say, my children, why are you people protesting? Why do you want to leave this nation? But rather than do that, you send in the army to go to Aba in a field. People just converge to pray for the release of their leader and you shoot them. I mean, there are things I consider as unforgivable sin. And you do that in a democracy. That, for many of us, is the show of the mentality of the one in power. Beyond that, you went to America now and they asked you how you going to include those, because of course the Americans know they didn't vote for you. And there is no secret about that. And I've actually analyzed this in a previous video, why the Igbos did not vote you and why the Igbos will not vote you again. Because if you go for third term, take it from me, if you had 15% vote from the Igbos before, you would now have less. Because in a serious in serious countries, what they do, like when the SNP, when the Scottish National Parties wanted to go for independence, what serious countries do, they will now call people, say, okay, can we understand your grievances? What are the things we can do to address these grievances? Can we do this in a short term? These are the things we agree to do in a short term. These are the things we agree to do in a long term. After all, the British did the same. David Cameron, you know, they all went to campaign in the Northern Ireland, in Scotland. When they went for campaign, they made some concessions. They said, okay, this is what the parliament in the United Kingdom, sitting in London, this is what Whitehall should be doing, and these are the powers we want to cede to you. That is the way it is done. That is, political higgy haga and parakboism. That is not, oh, it's either you are against me. What many people had expected is, yes, in 2015, the Igbos did not vote you. Hello, it's not because you're from Castina. No. Igbos did not vote you because they think you're a bad market. Sorry, but I have to say it. And you came to power, Mr. President, and you showed Igbo that you're a bad market. At least every other Nigerian is seeing it. By these actions you've taken on this loan, yes, you have proven them right. That means they knew you. Yes, you came with Umez, okay? We know that. Yes, there was a time you came with Chubo Kadibo. That's correct. But I asked this question. In 2003, you came with Umez, okay? We didn't vote you. In 2007, no, sorry, we came with Okadibo, we didn't vote. In 2007, you came with Umez. Well, so equally, we didn't vote. Yeah? Question. The same 2007, have we forgotten that even the Dim or the Meko Ojukwu, the greatest revered Igbo leader, equally contested. Did Igbos vote him? Was Ojukwu from Castina too? No. We had Emeko Ojukwu. We had, I've forgotten his name, the one guy contested the president as well, who is Igbo. We had Buhari. And the Igbos chose a man of peace from Katsina, from same state. See, there is the way this nature works. Nature have made it that the same man was from your own state. Igbos voted him without apology. This is Yaradua, a man of peace. He's Fulani. By the way, many of you that blamed Yorubas that they've gone to bed with this, listen, Yorubas are actually only in 2015 that they've actually gone to bed with Fulanis. It has been the history of Ndibo going to bed with Fulanis. But with Buhari, one thing, if he's human enough, one thing he should actually do is to do a soul searching. Why so much dislike from these people? If he was someone thinking, what he should have done is have programs marshaled out to woo these people. I had made this analogy. If Buhari was thinking, by 2019 he could have wooed the Igbos to his side. The analogy I gave is the analogy I gave about Ngige. Remember when Ngige came into power? Many people don't know. In Anambra State, Ngige, whatever agreement he had with Eselneno Goga, that is Chris Oga, Ngige was paying. But when they fell out, he stopped paying, started working. An Igbo man is a man you will not give money to vote for you or to like you. An Igbo man likes something that he can see with his eyes. Ngige started working. He went back to the old colonial roots, which is when he started roots at Idemmele, because Anambra State is actually small, and the heartland of Igbo nation, or rather the heartland of Anambra, is in the Anambra Central and Anambra South. So if you hear that people come to Anambra, is honestly Oda Guato Urumba. That is, or rather South and Central, comprising Nnewi, Agwata, Onitsha and Idemili South, Idemili North. You see, this is where, when he started doing things that people suddenly thought about, and the one that really won him the heart of the people was when he started doing the Umun's, what's it called? Umun's Umuchu Oga Ezinifiti Buku Road. That was the name. The people loved him because what he was working. Imagine if Buhari, even when I said this before, I've said it, some of you say, oh, this man is PDP. Listen, I freaking don't care. I've said this time with that number. There is no difference between PDP and APC. They are the same thieves, just changing party like they're changing their boxers. Nothing different. There is no what's it called, ideological difference or ideological underpinning. People, I'm not digressing. I'm building a point here. I want us to understand something. Okay, so please allow me build this, the conversation, so that you guys will understand where I'm going. So if there is no difference between PDP and APC, then it now falls back to individual. After all, Peter Obi was in APGA. If we select it, to prove that there is no difference, Peter Obi was in APGA. He did excellently well. Now we have Obiano, who is in APGA as well. So if it was about a party, then Obiano should have actually superseded what Peter Obi did. But hey, where are we today? You won't hear it from my mouth. But we aren't where we ought to be. If Buhari, the people did not vote him in 2015, he could have won the heart and the minds of Ndi. Imagine for 1 second, imagine this for 1 second. If Buhari put more effort, there is what I call, I refer to that as the Igbo triangle. And the Igbo triangle of infrastructure is very simple. The one leg of that triangle starts from Second Niger Bridge, heading to Emene. The second leg of that triangle takes off this way, Enugu Port Harcourt. Now, from the other angle, from the Onitsha section, the third triangle takes off again from that Onitsha and heads into Owerri. That's a triangle, and these are the routes. Imagine if Buhari didn't make all these utterances of 97% versus 5% if he had started addressing Ndi as humans. If Buhari had called IPOB, hey, my children, of course, yes, he's their father because as a father of a nation, and by age, yes. If he had called them, please, what is your problem? Okay, can we concede this? We understand we have scarce resources, but these are things we can do, these are things we can do. Please, I beg of you, just do the same thing when the Avengers were blowing pipeline. Buhari was in hospital, the same thing Osibanjo did. If this was a nation that wanted to work as a people, as a nation, work in progress, engage them. There is a reason in Igbo we saw onwali mele de jiwebe when they didn't just on his own started making noise. What is it? If he had cared, if he had started this three triangle in terms of road construction, using Anambra State under Ngige as a case study, complete it with Second Niger Bridge, every single 6 months, use your 2 legs, visit that place. I tell you, I know my people very well. In the first in the first time he will do it, nobody will believe him. He say, but you come in, you inspect the project, you tell them I will come back. I want this project to done because we are one. You should be part of this nation. I know there are things that has gone wrong in the past, blah, blah, blah. 6 months later, the president comes back. He does that 4 or 5 times. Every time he comes, he will just unannounced go to places, meet people, just show genuine love. Quote me here. I said, show genuine love. Listen, no Igbo person is born to hate forever. What an Igbo man wants is equity. That's why we have the motto, Biri Kambiri. Our forefathers say, let the kite perch and let the eagle perch. Why would an Iroko tree that can accommodate all of us and one kite will want to be a terrorist to everybody. Oh, don't patch here, don't patch here. How about waiting be your own self? Not only you, Wakako. Patch your own side. If there are federal infrastructures that you want to do it in a manner that will make an Hausa man happy, a Yoruba man happy, an Efik man happy. That is the equity. But when you want to do something, oh, you want to borrow the money, build the projects, Lagos Castina, Kaduna, Lagos, Ibadan, and they want me to come and pay. Come on now, we'll meet in the court. If this thing is not reversed, we'll meet in the court because that is the only option. Now, my argument now remains is that having given all these things, if Buhari was genuine, he would have won the heart of Ndibo against all odds. Ask yourself this question. How did Jonathan, the one that answered the bell, how did he win your heart? What did he do for you? Nothing. Till tomorrow, there is nothing. Jonathan only had few Igbos that looked after their pockets. We had Anyim Pius Anyim as the the Secretary to the State Government. Point one thing that Pius Anyim did for Ndibo, if not for his own pocket. Just one, not two. I'm not. Type it here. Type it in the comment section. Point one thing that he did for Ndibo. The only thing Jonathan offered Ndibo was Jonathan was humane. He understands the principle of running a multinational company. A multinational country like Nigeria, where you have various nationalities, because Nigeria is a multiple nation into one, where these nations have interests. If you have something to be done on merit, yes, give to people on merit. If these things, we have 6 things to share, simply give me my share, give the other person's share. Listen, Mazi, an epitome of an Igbo man. I am not interested in taking yours. I am not interested in cornering any single thing that belongs to the Fulani, the Kenuri, the Doma, the Hausa, the Beninese, the Okrikas. Neither am I interested in cornering anything that belongs to the Yorubas. But why must mine be something that you are interested in cornering at all times? Why must mine be something that you cannot be happy with? That is the thing that drives me sometimes crazy. You know, that's when we say this thing is not working. Dismantle the whole entity. Let us, dismantle it. Let us renegotiate, if at all. It's not by force to be in marriage. You cannot, someone is not happy, and that person is showing you, you're married. The wife is telling you, darling, I'm not happy. Rather than say, darling, what did I do? Is it because I'm drinking too much? Is it because I look at some miniskirt? Or what is your problem? No, rather, I'm not happy. He brings so, hey, bim, because you're not. Come on now, Haba. Haba, you cannot build a nation in this way. And that's why I still build tomorrow. Yes, people are aggrieved. People say we divide this. I agree. But, see, if we can, get something to work, confederation, this thing is not working, it's suffocating. There's someone that made an argument the other day. The same thing, the same restructuring now, people are begging to do restructure. Forget, this is the same restructure in 1966. You went to Aburi to do. And you came back, you rejected the same restructuring you had already agreed. Now, minus 2000 and, what's this year again? 2020. That's 53 years later. 53 years later. You are not talking about restructuring. You are not talking about restructuring. Treat an Igbo man right. You have a peaceful nation. Nation builders. Tell me, in Anambra, how many Yorubas, how many Hausas do you know that own property? This video, I don't care if it's long. If you watch enough, you can log off. I want to address, see, this night, I want to address a lot of things that's been bugging me. Enough. When do you, where do you have properties? Someone told me, a Yoruba friend of mine told me, Mas, the reason why people don't build in the East is that East don't sell land. I laughed my head off. I said, sorry, but my brother, you are such an ignorant, I wouldn't call you fool, but you are such an ignorant person. Tell me that place in Igbo land, except a land that was not bought, which is the ancestral land that you inherited. Tell me that place in Igbo land that you have your money, you want to buy it, you want to buy market force. Maze Ezeoke would ensure 1,000,000% that you buy it. But I gave him an example. I say, if in your state, get the Nigerian map. It's very simple. Look at the map. Niger State is the largest state in Nigeria. Anambra State alone, the Southeast alone, it's barely slightly bigger than Ogun State, only one state in the Southwest. If you want to think about it from sharing formula and, there is no way, even if it's a Kulobi, there is no way you get land maybe 2, 3 million, unless it's in what they call Ago and Eba. So, but that person cannot buy one plot of land in those remote areas because it's of no value to him. The same person, myself now, Mazes, if I'm willing to pay 6 million in my village, I come to Lagos. I go in the hinterlands of Isolo. I see a plot of land, 1 million. To me already, from the mentality where I'm coming from, the land is cheap. And the same person crying foul. He's saying, this is 1 million, or more, this is too much, oh, I cannot pay. And okay, sorry, I think the connection was slightly an issue. So I go to Sokoto, I buy land. I go here, I buy land. Come on. And I build. Now ask yourself, why is it that others don't build in your place? And I've said it. The major reason is about competitiveness. People are not willing to compete. Now, the same person that says Igbos don't sell land, then I ask a second question. Does Igbos also control Ghana? Do they control Burkina Faso? Are they the owners of those lands there? If you go to Kenya, if you go to South Africa, you see someone living properly as a man, chances are over 85% that that person is Igbo. If you go to Burkina Faso, if you see somebody living properly as a Tunwoke Kwesi, chances are the person is Igbo. Why? So it's the logic that because Igbos don't, sell land. No, that is not. Oh, sorry, guys. Did you say you're not hearing me anymore? Can you hear me now? Please confirm. Like the video, confirm if you can hear me. Like the video, let me know that you can hear me now. So before I continue. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me now, please confirm that you can hear me. Let me continue, please. This is embarrassing. Can you hear me now? Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. Friday Carlo. Friday Carlo says, yes, he can hear me. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mazi. I'm not hearing you. Oh, sorry. So just confirm that you can hear me. I can continue. Okay. So what I'm saying, I think I wouldn't say I lost my train of thought. Thank you. Yeah, bad network. Yes. So what's happening here? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. So Now, I don't know what you guys think about the topic I'm talking. What do you guys think? So, shall we continue? Shall we continue? Shall we continue? Okay. So, people, the only thing I want you to do is please, please, please share the link in this video. Let others join you to watch. After this video, the video will be uploaded. Please share it widely because these are things that many of us don't want to say out. But today, I am in the mood to say these things. I know some of you will start saying what you say, but hey, these things don't bother me. But I think someone at some point has to make these points clear. You know, now I have another friend from Plateau who tells me the same story unverified that Igbos do not sell land. Then I ask again, how come have you ever wanting to buy land in Igbo nation and nobody sold to you? So at the end of the day, so if you know that Igbos are the nation builders, Igbos are the nation builders, it only behoves and it only makes common sense that since Igbos are the nation builders, I'm not saying that you give Igbos special treatment, please, far from it. But treat them with, you know, treat them with respect. Okay? I'm not saying just ignore, just in Igbo, yeah, just like that. No. Treat them with respect. And I believe it's not too much to ask that we should be treated with respect. There is no two ways about that. Because at the end of the day, if someone is actually building anywhere he goes, be it in the north, in the south, in the west, and they make anywhere they go their home. We know, you and I know it. I don't need to mention names, but we know people that come to a particular region, they come in with their mats, they have no stake. I had argued in many forums. If you remember, there was a time, I think about 1950, not 1957 or thereabout, in Enugu, a Fulani man was the mayor of Enugu. It is to tell you how the Igbos, very detribalized people. Because if someone tells you that the Igbos hate Buhari, tell that person that is a bloody liar, that is the other way around. Igbos would not have hated Buhari, or rather hated the Fulani or the Hausa, and yet they voted in Yaradua. How can you? Yaradua is from. See, like I said before, that is the way things work. Yaradua is from Katsina. Buhari is from Katsina. They chose Yaradua, but they didn't choose Buhari. And Buhari now is turning out to actually confirm the reason. If he was so smart as people, as I would have wished him to be, one thing he would have done is to actually prove the Igbos wrong. And if he had actually made effort, not even getting there, because when I say effort, it is clear. Good Luck did the same thing. There was nothing. I think till tomorrow, there is nothing Good Luck did for us. Good Luck only empowered some few Igbo brothers and sisters. That's all. Collectively as a people, there was nothing. He approved Enugu International Airport, and so what? Any person could have done the same. But there was nothing tangible. The only thing he did was he understood the human psychology. The human psychology. I remember several times you hear words like, "Oh, you are my people. I am at home." So he wears your Isiago and he uses your elephant tusk, in a way that is very accommodating. That is the only thing. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to explain this to my other Nigerians to understand. The only thing an Igbo man wants from you is just to accord him that respect. Nothing more. Accord him that respect. That brings me to the discussion. I've laid enough foundation for us to now get into the meat of the matter. Now, in all these things, actually, I'll say this. I know if you're watching, my good friend, I have another friend that made an argument that told me when a press statement that was published today, which I signed from my organization, Igbo Ekunie, saying that this thing is, the exclusion of the Southeast in the $22.7 billion federal government loan is a further evidence of President Buhari's Inglorious Apartheid regime. That was the title of that. You can Google it. Google Mazes. Okay, that the press release went out today. So this guy called me saying, "Yeah, Mazi, but the Kaduna, sorry, the Lagos Kaduna rail will be used by Igbos." That's me, yes. The Kaduna rails will be used by Igbos. And say, yes. And this one will do this. And say, of course, the Igbos will use it. So why are Igbos complaining? See how foolish some Nigerians, sorry, my friend, I know you're listening, but that's how foolish sometimes you people can reason. And I said to him, if I call you foolish now, you'll be offended. But the thinking is foolish. Because to answer you that how happy Igbos will be, I want to turn the table the other way. Can we do Abo rail to One? Can we do Sapele to Abakaliki? After all, it's still in the same Nigeria. Then can we do Ugeli to Otukbo? After all, the Northerners will use it. After all, Yorubas will use it. Is that making sense now? Because when someone says, Mas, why do you keep fighting that the $22.7 billion is evil? And I say, until I turn the table round for you, would not understand that that is evil. And the greater evil I see in it, and that's what makes my blood to boil. That's why I have taken the time to lay the foundation. The greater evil is that Buhari presented this thing last year in the last Senate. And the Senate told him point blank, there is non-inclusiveness here. And what did he do? He represented it back again. And that is what, the thought alone, it just ilks me. I want to puke. It makes me get angry. Because it is only a very devilish, evil-minded person that would return something it does not include these people, yet they will be the bulk of the people to pay the bill. And they complained under Saraki when you had men with grey matters in between their scores, not the current rubber stampers. They rejected it. Suddenly, you bring it back again. And someone tells me, and why are the Igbo senators? One is, listen, aside that Baribe, there is no senator there that actually I care about, so to say. Listen, but did the Yorubas have to go to their senators to have those projects included? Did the Hausas have to go to their senators to have their own project included? But why must they be only, you see, that is that equity that I talk about. Why must it be only us? That we will now, our senators have to go and say, why didn't he include us? I have said this analogy many times. If you are a father and you have 6 children, you give one, you have 6 things to share. You share one and you forget one of your sons. It's either you have dementia, it's either you're wicked or you are not the father of that person. Or you can just say, son, I don't want you. Now, if someone says, okay, you're taking 22.7 billion loan, you don't include us. That means you're telling us we're not part of the federation. Then let us go. You say, oh, you don't go. B, Kwanono, if we stay, treat us as normal human beings. You say, no, you won't treat us. Now, waiting be your own. No. Get it hard. What kind of rubbish is this? Now, let me play this video now before, at least for some of you, understand where my anger comes now. This video is with the Senate caucus where they were discussing this. And listen to what the former Deputy Senate President said. After that, I would analyze the video shortly, then we will go and open the telephone line. Listen, have a listen.
Presented by the government, and for some obvious reasons, especially the issue of exclusion, it was not taken. So this has been returned to the present National Assembly. Regrettably, last Thursday, the Senate passed the borrowing plan, which excluded the whole of Southeast. I'd like to use the opportunity to thank our colleagues who were at the chamber that day, especially Senator Engineer Baribe, who made an effort to get the matter addressed, the issue of the equity and equitable distribution. Most of us were not in chambers. I was in Lagos attending the INEC retreat on electoral reforms. Most of our colleagues were also outside the chambers. So we want to commend him for the effort he made and other colleagues who were there during the conversation. So we met as a caucus of the Southeast National Assembly last night after consulting with our people and getting their feelings regarding this issue. And we decided that the best approach would be a constructive engagement with the National Assembly leadership. So this afternoon, we had a very good conversation with both the Senate President and also the Speaker of the House of Representatives. I'm here to report that we had a meaningful discussion. They showed not just concern, but commitment to addressing these issues. And they were satisfied with those assurances. So we are believing that the matter will either be revisited, or since it has not been passed in the House, the appropriate thing will be done, and then our people's fears will be assuaged. So we'd like to thank the Senate President and the Speaker for those assurances and their commitment to the national unity and unity of this country, and also for justice to all parts of Nigeria. We believe that equity should be the way for our country to make progress. So they are committed to this equitable distribution of the loan facilities. So our thinking is that what the federal government presented was a borrowing plan. So since it's still a plan, so there's still opportunity for us to look at the distribution, so that every part of Nigeria will have a sense, of belonging with the way the loan will be managed. Because we believe ultimately every part of Nigeria will be part and parcel of the repayment. So if we are going to be part and parcel of the repayment, it makes every sense that we also benefit from the utilization of those funds. And we are concerned about certain facilities, including the eastern corridor of the railway from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. We are also concerned about the access to the sea, the provision of access to the sea for the people of the Southeast, developing seaports in our area, and also power projects. So we hope that by the time the matter is addressed, that some of the fears of our people would have been addressed, and their own concerns will also be addressed. The other issue we raised with them is the issue of the distribution of the National Assembly bureaucracy. We pointed out to them that if you look at the National Assembly bureaucracy, the Southeast is also excluded from the Clerk of the National Assembly to the Deputy Clerk, the Clerk of the Senate, Clerk of the House, the DG of NAILS, also the Chairman of and Secretary of National Assembly Service Commission, the same thing with the Public Complaint Commission. They showed concern and have agreed to address it as soon as vacancy occurs in any of those positions. So we had a very useful meeting. So on behalf of my colleagues, I want to thank them for their understanding, and we are looking forward to their commitment, which has already been expressed to us. So I want to thank you again for listening to us.
Thank you.
All right, for the nation newspapers. You said they gave you assurances this time.
Secondly, I said that this is a borrowing plan, to know that any money has been borrowed. And under the Fiscal Responsibility Act, you are required to get the approval of the National Assembly for you to borrow. So that's why it is tabled before the People's Parliament, where every part of Nigeria is represented, to have a conversation and discussion to be sure that it is spread. That is actually the philosophy behind sending it to the National Assembly. So that's why we are using every legislative avenue to ensure that the proper thing is done.
And I follow. Okay. DSP, sir. Former DSP. Senators from the East never saw that document before the passage.
And and I commended him for his effort, and also that it's not a matter of fighting or any struggle, any exchange of words. We believe in, as I said, in critical engagement of our colleagues. Yeah. Remember too that our Deputy Senate President and matter came in the last Senate, and it was not discussed. So our people at each material time have shown commitment to this. So if we're not concerned, we won't be here. So this is part of the commitment of our legislators from the Southeast to matters concerning us. So I believe that every person from the Southeast is committed to ensuring that the right thing is done. That's why we're elected to be here to represent them.
Yeah. My name, please permit me to sit down, distinguished, because of the President of the Senate, which all of you in the Senate have agreed on one page. Even the Southeast.
I can't remember any day 109 senators were present at sitting. Maybe even during the day of inauguration, it never happened. We'll have our own assignments. And so if a matter comes up and you're not there, and something, a decision is taken, we have under our rules what we could do, right? So which is what we are raising now. What we could do, instead, even if a decision has been taken, we can now come under our rules for the matter to be rescinded and be taken again. All you need to do is to come with a proper motion. So we understand that. We've been here for a long time. So and you can't be in two places at the same time. Those senators from the South who are not there, they're also on one national assignment or the other. So it's unfair to say, oh, they were not all there, right? So, and I believe that what we are doing now is the correct thing to see how the matter is addressed. And as we admitted, it came up in the last Senate, and we didn't take it because for the same reason. So if it comes up now and has been taken, well, that is democracy in action. So you can, the minority may have their say, majority will have their way. Recall that in the Southeast, we have only 15 senators, while others have between 18 and 21. So it's part of the issue of marginalization we've been talking about. That we've been pushing for restructuring. So even if you put all the 15 members of the National Assembly from the Southeast in the Senate and you vote, definitely you know the outcome. So it's not a matter of playing to the gallery. So we are here to engage our colleagues in such a way that they'll be able to understand our and our concerns and address it. Right?
Thank you.
To get our colleagues in the Senate, the leadership of the Senate and the House to agree on accommodation of the Southeast. And the House does that. Then they'll bring it back to the Senate for harmonization because it will be different resolutions. Yeah. So we need to come together and then have one document, which again will still be passed in the Senate and in the House. So we're still on course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you. Thank you.
So you've seen it. Now here are my comments. I must state categorically here first, I do not fancy, I feel somehow ashamed, I feel somehow ashamed that we are the only region that appears to beg for something that should be easily given to you. I understand, what the senators have done in this clip is what we have elected them to do, to speak on our behalf. However, the fundamental thing that makes them to beg is, listen, it drives me nuts. This press conference should have not ever occurred if the president, because no matter what, I will blame them less, whereas I'll put most of the blame on whoever submitted that satanic borrowing without taking corrections of what happened in the previous administration, or rather the 8th Senate. Why would you represent the same thing unchanged? That is very satanic and that is evil for whoever has done that. Well, I would say, very hard for me to say thank you because that's what we pay you people money to do. But suddenly, I'm equally surprised that something of such importance came up, and Ike Premadi says he went to INEC seminar or retreat or whatever. Well, and someone asked me today, someone called me, said, Mazi, what would you have expected them to do? And this is what I would have expected them to do if they were there. Listen, I am aware out of 109 senators that the Southeast only have 15. One is in prison, making it 14. Let's assume 10 attended if they took their job serious. 10. And if I raised that motion, because even Abaribe, granted, if you go and listen to the comment of Abaribe actually didn't even speak on specifically for the Southeast. He spoke as a minority leader. One thing I had expected them to is, I would explain my expectation with this adage. Mbe ka bialu enyi bialu ekpolo. I say, ha, kesi ka onwe ko ya dị na ọ bụ na ịbịa kpolo mpụa na ọnwa ozukwu chi ya chelugodu ka ọ bịa. Mbe je bosasịa aja. I say, what are you doing? I say, don't worry. At least onwe onye gafetenu ka ọ fụ na nwoke na nwaanyị. Ọ dị ka na mba gbakwa nega before wee buli apụ. And translate means the tortoise were to be arrested by the elephant. And the tortoise said, no, wait a minute. And the elephant questioned, oh, what are you trying to do? He just, made some marks on the floor. He said, okay, now we can go. And the elephant asked, why? He said, so that when people hear that the tortoise was arrested and they see the signs on the floor here, they will know that tortoise put some effort before he was taken away. And what am I saying? I know structurally you're at an disadvantaged level. But in this case, please, next time, what we want you people to do is stage a walkout. That is the only way you can register, and convince us that you're not playing any game. Stage a walkout. Listen, if I argue with you to a point that I think you're not making any sense to me, is it by force to stay? I'll walk out. Walking out does not mean you have shut the door of negotiation. Walking out does something on its own. Walking out means you can now go back to the Senate president and query. Look at it, what they said. The Senate president said they will look into it. That is begging. Negotiating from the point of weakness. The only ambush they have now is to wait for them at the House of Assembly and to see if they can, mobilize some people as to if they can join them. But again, I know some of you are watching. Please, even if when it comes to whatever assembly, if nothing still happens, mobilize us. Listen, let us close the street. How can you borrow 22.7 billion and you're telling me that you're building a rail from Lagos to Kaduna? Therefore, you have taken which interest? You have not taken any of my interest, please. It's either we discard the loan or we make it equitable. Take projects in the south, not northeast, not central, not west. Take projects in the southeast, south, and you can. I don't know. Honestly, the more I talk about these things, the more I get a little bit annoyed and agitated because the concept. I will be angry with my representatives for not being there that day, but at least they've made up because some of them knew, some of them read the stinkers. I don't care. None of them fits me. I say the things I say. I don't look for your appointment, neither do I look for your contract anyway. So as long as you represent me, I have the right to tell you what I think. And in this case, the representation is not entirely done right. I can forgive you because you are outnumbered. But next time, we want more action. Action in the sense that if they do not agree to something like that, and they would basically argue on that, walk away. At least let it be on record that when this loan was taken, that the whole Southeast senators said no and they walked away, your name will be in the history. Today, we still remember Enahoro for what? For moving the motion for creating a new nation of independence. That's why, that's why when people talk about Biafra or nothing, I say, listen, it's not about typing. Listen to me. It's not about typing Biafra or not. It's about engaging politically. Take over the whole damn Southeast. Elect men that will be in the Senate. Move a motion for independence. You can't do it online. Move a motion for independence. And these are things we should begin to think about. Yes, the electoral process is rigged, but not when you have the numbers. Yes, things does not work, but hey, even Catalonia that is fighting for independence, you can see where they are today. Even to the point, listen, Catalonia, they have their own government already. They have a government, they have someone like their president, they have a parliament, they have their own police, yet you see the difficulties they are in. And we are just nothing, only on internet, this or nothing. Think things are given a platter of good. So that's what I'm saying. It's time to get political. I hope my message is understood. It's time to get political with any agitation, because you cannot expect people. And sometimes one thing I think I've discovered why these people care less about representing you properly is because if they will go and take loan and go and contest, win an election, of course, it's business. They want to go there. Did you give them the money? Rather, most of you want to take from them. Most of you call them honorable this, honorable that. People that stole your money, you should be stoning them. They stole all your money. But when you and I are able to turn the table, elect them, give them, this is what you have to, if we decreed the agreement with the people. If you want to represent us, have we ever done it? Have we ever had any agreement with anybody? Yes, we will mobilize for you free of charge. We're not charging you money. But this is the contract you're going to do. The covenant with your constituents. This is what we require. Let us change the way things are run. I can't be saying this all the time. Listen, sometimes I think we're even docile mentally, because it gets me worked up and gets me angry. We can do it. Let's stop this blame, Anyway, people, I need to calm down. Let me take some comments. Richard, that's it. People, you know what? I'm going to open up the telephone line. Get your pen. Let me open up the telephone line, and I would... I will open up the telephone line. I hope you don't mind. I hope you will call in, and let's have this conversation. I want to hear. Sometimes I understand that some of you, it might be difficult watching and typing, but let's have this conversation. Let me know how many people I would bring in on this conversation this evening. If it works, if the technology works, then I should be able to, what's it called? I should be able to get you to join me. Okay. So the number to call, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let me answer you. Biafran League of Righteousness. Okay, what do we do to criminals like Uzodimma who we did not elect? Uzodimma's case is a very sad one, but it's 1 out of 4. It is 1 out of 4. Uzodimma's case, if what I have said, that we have a structure where we control people. Listen, there is a way you can ostracize someone that he has no option than to agree with you, because if he wants to belong and be seen as amongst you, he must, You see, no one is evil. You see, I don't like him. I don't believe Imo people voted him, and Imo people will not have him. But you and I, that structure can actually force him not to do anything else than to work for the Igbo nation. We cannot, in the next 4 years, he has to sink in our head. He is the governor of Imo State. It behooves on you and I to keep him on his toes. We can get Uzodinma to work, scrutinize anything. If he signs land, we know, is he signing the land for Ruga? If he does this, if he says he's doing Imo, the last time I was, last month, or no, 2 months ago, I was in Owerri to Port Harcourt, that the road that this guy, the former governor, excavated, and eventually the road, he's got taken out. It's you and I, it's your job. That's why I spend my time, my money, my energy driving around, trying to expose. Because I have taken the title of tormentor of bad governance in the Igbo nation. Is to keep tormenting. That is the only way we will fix the brain of these people. But hey, what will some of you do? Go back to bed and call them, he said, what are they excellencing for my food, for Christ's sake? They are not excellent anything in any way, shape, or form. The only thing I owe you is, you are the governor. I don't need your money. Do the right thing. At the beginning, I told us how Ngige won the hearts of Anambra State. It's still possible. So someone asking me about Uzodinma, I don't know. Let's ignore, if we can, out of 4. And there are some legal precedents that people have learned from this. Hopefully, when they come to making inputs into the electoral reforms, there are things that will still come that will make what happened now, if these electoral reforms come, is not going to repeat itself. So, you and I does not need to sleep. If we need to, if you want to get a date for referendum, you don't get a date for referendum by typing it. The only way that you can get a date to determine if you want to be part of this nation or not is for you to politically engage. Elect those that will speak on your behalf. There is nobody that all these people there now, there is none of them that can speak on your behalf, because you did not elect them on the mandate to go and speak on your behalf of getting you a referendum. But if we have it in black and white, if we Naiga Tunyegi vote as governor of Anambra State, as governor of Ebonyi State, come 2023, but these are the conditions, sign it. The day you elect you as a senator representing that, but these are the conditions, sign it. We are not collecting money. But sometime we have to take our destiny in our own hands. And that calls for action. So are you guys ready to take the numbers if you want to call in? So Righteous, thank you. I think exactly like, okay, Biafran League of Righteous. Anyway, I thought you were going to, I like it, and that's what I keep saying. Conversations are more good when we are all civil. When we don't insult each other. Because suddenly I read people are saying, oh, you sabo the other. I just laugh because I just see them as people, ignorant. So just do nothing. So if you guys like what we are discussing, can you please like the video and give me, please, only 39 likes, come on. And we have close to 100 people watching, and you're only giving me 89. That's not a good percentage. Okay, so now, are you ready for the telephone number? Are you ready to call in? Can we do this now? I don't even know how this works, but let me see. Talking about these things takes so much energy out of me, and it works me up. Jesus, okay, that should be the other way around. It takes too much energy. Nah, this one Nabama is something. Could do. Okay. Bear with me, please. I'm trying to. Okay. Yes, I have the number now. That is zero. That is Nigeria. Some of you can add plus four, plus 234, plus 234 708 004 2206. I repeat, plus 234 708 004 2208. So put the number that Maza is okay. You can give me a call, but that's only the number is only used during live broadcast. If you call outside the live broadcast, be rest assured no one will answer this call. Okay? So if you want to call, if you want to have your contribution, or if you prefer writing, I can bring up your contribution in the screen. There has to be a legal process to block the loan. Exactly. So what we've done, Igbo Ekunie Initiative, we've issued a press release today. What we do is within the another group of ours, which is called. So what we basically are doing is to take legal action. First of all, not including the Chinese Exim Bank, but if they do not react, then we have no other option than to include the China Exim banks. So basically, the group where I also belong is called the Igbo Board of Deputies. I think some of you must have read the legal action that is going, and that's no joke, because yes, there is something you and I can do, and there is something the reps can do. And there are some cases, like when under my leadership, Igbo Ekunie Initiative took Buhari and Buratai to the International Criminal Court. It's not for anything. I knew the reps wouldn't do that. But I mean, haven't seen what the Nigerian soldiers under the command of General Buratai did to my people in Aba. If I so suck an Igbo woman's breast, I should be ashamed of such action. And if not for anything, there are some actions that people can take, and I took that. I do not care when what's it called, DSS published whatever they publish, people sponsoring IPOB and plastering my names and the organization anywhere. I don't bloody care. Man will only die once. But Ma says, okay, I want to die for those things I believe in. Let me rather die for those things I believe in. So let's continue. If you want to, or should I put the number on the screen? Let me see if I can put the number on the screen actually. Once more. What's the number again? Oops. Okay, the number is 00. No. Yeah, it could be 00 as well. Plus 234 708 004 2206. You see, one thing that some of us do is that we are good tigers. We hide behind the computers, and so sometimes nobody wants to show their face, nobody wants to show their voice, because you think DSS, I don't know, DSS can actually bust my house now and come in. Who cares? I haven't done anything wrong. I'm only saying the things that I think concerns you and I. And someone at some point has to say these things. I know. I think someone has actually. Oh, can you guys still hear me? Yeah, I think the video link is still, yeah. Someone has actually given my video a thumbs down. Well, whoever that is, I'm sorry if you think that you do not agree on my approach. My approach is not to insult people or to, in most cases, say that people are sellouts or people are this or that. But I think we can intelligently, because if we criticize the federal government, if we criticize Buhari, and we fall back without even thinking about it, and do the same things that we criticize the Nigerian government of doing, then we aren't that smart. If you understand what I mean. Okay? So, people, that's my take. I don't know what you guys think, but if nobody wants to, give a bell or share his or her opinion, it's not only men, women as well. If nobody wants to share his or her opinion, then obviously my anger was that the Igbo nation is being short-changed, and one can only say that the brazen and blatant exclusion of the Southeast, whose citizen will contribute more than fair share in the repayment of this loan, is a testament, a very testimonial, and you know that the repayment of the loan is tantamount to the balkanization of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and or a declaration of war by any means necessary. Because what you're doing by this, saying that Igbos cannot profit from this thing, from this loan, is basically saying we do not want you. And that's forcing us at every point in time to beg is one thing that drives me nuts. That Nigerian diversity is her greatest asset, actually, if we are, to the point of saying, let's continue. But like I said, honestly, we are tired of the marriage. That is it. We are tired of the marriage. I don't know how else to say that. I don't know in whichever language to make it for you guys to understand. If the federal government watching me, we are tired of the marriage. That is the only country where I see someone said, I'm not happy with this marriage, with this entity called Nigeria. Rather than ask me why I'm not happy, all you do is to shoot me. No, I am tired, and I'm tired. I'm in it. Okay. The problem is that people do not have close contact with our leaders. Okay, if people don't want to call in, let me actually bring in the comment and let's think. I have, what's it called? Henry Akob, as he says, the problem is that people don't not have a close contact with our leaders. It's difficult to get them in contact with them. Yes and no. I was in one of the houses. I'll tell you how my mind works. One of my friends from the U.S. Came in one time, and we drove to the senator representing my constituency then, and we waited for about. I waited for about 20 minutes, and they knew that we were outside. And I told my friend, I'm going to leave. He thought it was a joke. 10 minutes more, I went into my car and I drove home. I said, you know what? I've got a lot to do. I have no time to come and be waiting for someone. Someone I've actually employed. Because know it, your senator, Buhari, your vice president, your governor, they are all your employee. You employ them, you pay them. I mean, somehow we need to get this warped mentality of seeing them as demigod, as people, rich men, excellency, excellency, excellency in stealing your money, excellency in doing away with your lives and running your mom, my mom, everyone, running them out of the road with their siren of cars, a fleet of cars they bought with your money. It's time we stop this. Come on. I keep saying it. It's time we sit down, articulate these things. These are the creed. These are the things we have to do. If we want to have the vote, these are the things you do. What are the... Yeah, someone gave me another thumbs down, but who cares? So, what are the things you can do? What are the things you can do? The things you can do, thank you, you remove the thumbs up, thumbs down. So, what are the things you can do? The things we can do is that we sit down, we'll write these things down, which could contain, if we know that we spend a lot of money in fleets of cars, we can make sure that a governor of no southeastern state has more than 3 cars. And those cars must be made in Nigeria. So who am I speaking to? You're live.
Good evening. Yes, my name is Opara Onyebuchi. I'm calling from New York.
Okay, Opara Onyebuchi from New York. You're welcome. What's your contribution?
Well, I don't have contribution for now because I didn't start the program with you, but just to thank you for all you've been doing. Keep on trying to listen to you whenever I have the time. In fact, we need people like you to teach us and tell us what we don't know, because many people are learning from what you're saying, because we are kind of behind. We don't know what is happening. So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. Onyebuchi.
You're welcome.
Okay. So who do I have on the line?
Good evening, man.
Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to
Wando. Okay. MK Wando.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that the problem we have is that, because I was listening to Okorocha speak on the Senate about the same loan and everything, it's like we ourselves, the Igbos, lack some sort of representation. We don't. It's like it's only in there talking. Every other person is like they are scared to say something, and that's what I think, in personal opinion, anyway.
So, what do you think? What's your impression of what Rochas Okorocha said?
I was listening to him. To me, personal opinion, he was rambling on. He wasn't even the Senate president have to correct him twice. He got the figure wrong. He got then he started talking how he did it in Imo State. I was like, that's not what you're supposed to do. And he was referring to us and say, these people should be. This is your own people. That's what I look at it. He wasn't like, he's like he's scared to say something.
I see. I get your point. But one thing I will say, if the video I played before, if you look at what Senator former DSP Ike Ekweremadu, the comment he made, you will know that standing there you have PDP, APC, and YPP. What it meant is there ought to come a point where we do party, like I said, party is a vehicle and it means nothing, because all of them, it's nothing like 6.5, it's just like 6.5 a dozen. For me, they are all the same thing. So what Okorocha has done, actually, in fairness to Okorocha, I never liked him. That he said what he said in the Senate does not swear me. I still see him as the way I saw him before. But when it comes to representation, you see, if he has been doing the same, if he has been speaking up, because that's all we asked them to do. However, if they are not speaking up, it behoves on you and I to actually begin to look into it and say, okay, what are the corrective measures we can bring up in order to make the next, because we should be, now if none of you are actually thinking about the next electoral cycle in terms of who is capable of saying these things you and I are saying online, but because at the end of the day, highest, if this video goes viral, for instance, highest maybe 100,000 people will see it. But when a senator speaks, you're addressing minimum of 200 or rather 200 million Nigerians. So you are a voice. The voice of a senator, no matter how abysmal he or she performs, still outweighs the voice of you and I, because he has the international audience. If the Senate if the Southeast Caucus had staged a walkout as I suggested, by now, international news probably would have been, it would even be more easier to now tell the Chinese, no, the people are protesting. But if you and I protest about the Chinese loan, probably our voice will not be heard. But when the Senate stages walkout, it makes my contribution, your contribution, much easier, that even if we want to write the Chinese government, write the Chinese Exim Bank, You have video clips. You can now say, this is what happened. The Nigerian senators are working out on this loan. They said Nigerians won't repay. And no institution wants to have such bad news. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much. Nice.
Okay, you're welcome. So, people, another thumbs down. You know, it's quite funny that when you are talking about something really, really important and serious, and I think it's either these people do not have internet or what is their problem, why they will be giving such discussions thumbs down anyway. So, Kelechi is watching from Israel. So if there is no further discussion and telephone calls, then we could. Oh, so the person who has given me a thumbs down has changed his mind. Thank you very much for changing your mind. But what I'm saying is, I couldn't say that I know it all. But one thing I would want us to do is that we can have these conversations more often in order to help change, especially some of you in the diaspora. Your thinking matters. Please, your thinking matters because you don't know the influence you hold on people sitting in Nigeria. Because who controls the stomach of the other controls to some large extent the thinking of that person as well. Because you sit on a large reserve of money and you keep helping those at home, we equally, it's time that we begin to think of how we change the mindset at home. I would have preferred that I've said it before and I'll repeat it again. Again, not many of you will like it, but again, I'll say it. Do you know when the protest was happening, when IPOB leader was in prison, that many of us took legal action? And a disclaimer here, some of you have been asking me, are you an IPOB leader, a member? I am not. But anything that has to do with the Igbo nation, I am 1,000,000% behind it. Now, when he was when he was illegally, because that's what I still consider that, the federal government wasn't thinking right. When he was illegally detained, protests were happening. You look, millions of people marching on the street. I asked someone, imagine for 1 second, where in one of those protests, you had, it doesn't matter because no one would know. I'm now giving us expo. You had something white like business card or driver's license or voter's card. You wave it off and say, in this state we are marching, election is in so month, with this we will change the government. Believe me, the governor of that state will be in his boxers and will look for who to speak to these people and look for their demand. But if we think we cannot engage, when we don't engage and when the political decisions still go wrong, we will be the ones to say they are not representing you. Did you elect them to represent you? See my argument? You and I will hold them responsible for not representing you the day you and I will say these are the conditions that we would take in representing you. K. Richard Mazi, those giving you thumbs down are not compared to the thousands likes, so please ignore enemies. Thank you very much. That makes, I think I need to go get a bottle of stout now. I think I've talked for like over an hour now. And for those of you who are not watching, those of us in Nigeria watching from pay-as-you-go data, and that's the reason why I actually most times stopped broadcasting within the week. Because I learned that data is normally more costly during the week. So weekends, they normally give weekends promotion. And if I have the time tomorrow, I'll come online as well. I have decided somehow not to talk about the fraud called Sanusi because I didn't want to talk about him, but anything that has to do with my people, because we need to keep talking before it sinks in. There is a lot happening. Honestly, because there is a lot happening. Be it from um, be it from your communities, your various communities. Many of us don't engage. We have Christian fundamentalists. I call them Pentecostal Boko Harams, going around destroying, not being tolerant enough, destroying other people's faith, those they consider the traditionalists. And I ask them this question: if Boko Haram does that to Christians, you will cry, but you do that to someone else. So there is a lot to talk about. But one thing I promise us is that we do, and we cannot stop talking. We must keep talking in order to liberate our mind from the shackles that holds us back. It's only when the mind is liberated that we can begin to make progress. Progress we must make. There is no two ways about that. But my people, think about that. I was about saying this before the call came in. Imagine as part of the strategy will be the Southeast. You see, when I say this, I am interested in Southeast. Why? That is my base. That is my own house. Because if you and I are able to fix the Southeast will become the bedrock of our progress. Imagine where the Southeast says, we do not care what the Southwest, whatever, how they govern themselves, but for us to give you our vote, you will have to sign this document saying, a governor, you only have 3 cars, and those 3 cars must be made in the Southeast, aka they must be innocent vehicle manufacturing company. We don't want Prado. We don't want Lexus. We don't want Mercedes. It's only when we have leaders like this that will do away with this Western crap that we will begin to make progress. And we would have every monthly expenditure on a dedicated website. I don't need to go to every local government, because when I say the what we do to ourselves is basically a microcosm of what happens in Nigeria. Listen, there is no, tell me one local government local government headquarter in the Southeast that has running water, that you a woman, men can stand up and we anyhow. But tell me one local government that your daughter, your wife, your mom could comfortably, like in your house, go in, sit down to do a wee. There is none. There is none. In the whole of Southeast, there is not one. Yet, these are people that take a chunk of the federal allocation, and we are so fixed at the federal. Whereas the state, where we should hold them more accountable, but we are more into, oh, yeah, he's whatever, honorable local government chairman, and he throws money and everybody claps for them. They're all thieves. Which money? They're throwing your money. We should be questioning them. Why should they throw money? It's an abuse. You shouldn't throw money. My head is hurting. Again, deputy governor, 2 cars. You know why 2 cars? Why? The one he will be on, the one will be press and security. That's all. Commissioners, if you've been using keke before you became commissioner, continue using keke. That's all. It's only when we do and we begin to give zero tolerance to this rubbish. If not, it will get out of hand. Look at the other time. Hope Uzodinma's car was attacked. If you see the convoy, you think, walai, Lexus, 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 Lexus. Yet this is a poor state going to Abuja to beg that they don't have money. And they keep wasting this money. League of Biafran Nation says, Biafran League of Righteous. Mazi, please, another advice. Please restrict your contribution and broadcast to Igbo affairs. I will be more productive. Of course, I don't know. Honestly, I struggle to see what you mean, because Federal government taking loan of 22.7 billion that Igbos will partake in paying and paying the bulk of the money, and we have no project as given to us. You do not consider that to be Igbo affair enough to be discussed? I want to disagree. I want to honestly, honorably want to disagree. K. Richards, stay strong and remain blessed. Keep on your good work. Is hold on. It's not about the life of we live, but we contributed to life itself. Exactly. That's my view of life. It is about the things we contributed to the society. And I keep asking myself, most times before I go to bed, I say, if I go to bed today and I do not wake up, what is it that the world will remember me for? I don't want to be remembered as an oppressor, as someone who has sided with the enemy to oppress my own people. I don't want to be remembered like that. Rather, I want to be remembered, even if it by few, as the man who hated bad governance, who did not like bad governance and want the best for his people. And the best for my people I shall give at all times. Therefore, my people, I will allow you and I will say good night. Greetings, everyone. So you can watch the video. Hopefully tomorrow we can have another broadcast. Thank you very much for your time. Peace out.